Keith Scott, President and CEO of the Baltimore County Chamber of Commerce and Small Business Resource Center. We represent about 800 businesses in Baltimore County and Baltimore City, and really take a regional approach to all the issues that are dealing with businesses in our community. We saw a real need for a coalition of groups that come together, the business, the multitude of groups that understand that the need for energy generation is important in our business community, but it's also important as we're looking at conservation measures to make sure that we reduce the amount of electricity. But it can't just be one group. It has to be a multifaceted, multi-step approach to make sure that we have reliable power in the future. Our businesses are so dependent on reliable power. If you look at a grocery store or you look at a restaurant or any type of business that, if they don't have power or if there is a blackout, they're going to lose money and they're going to lose it quickly. We saw that recently with the snowstorm. When people were out, businesses were out for 2 to 3 days, there was a great loss of revenue. The same thing can happen when you have power and you're not sure of it. It's also hard to plan a business opportunity on power that's shaky and not knowing. How do you really know if it's going to work? How do you know if you're going to have it? What happens if you have a downturn? You can't plan businesses on the what if. If we don't come together on this, it's going to hurt everybody. Everyone is going to be affected by it, whether you're from the environmental side or the business side. It's going to affect everybody because having clean, good power is key to what we do every day. And our economy is based on this, you know. For instance, if people don't have jobs this all the time and they don't have the extra money to spend, they're not going to replace their refrigerator to an energy efficient refrigerator. They're not going to redo their home so it's more energy efficient. So though people will say, you know, what's the harm in it? Having a strong economy also provides a good, clean environment. So both sides really win on this. The business community wins because profits and revenues continue to grow strong, but the environmental community also sees cleaner, more breathable air long term. It'd be very hard for our local Department of Economic Development to sell, you know, we've got great schools, we've got a great workforce and everything like that, but once in a while the power might be on and off. How do you sell that? No one's going to want to come to your county and do business if it's like that, or come to your state. You know, you've got to have an attractive setting across the board. And if the power is one of those issues, no one in the right mind would want to resettle here. Having transmission line is critical, and that's why this group is perfect for this as coalition, because we have to look at those transmission lines are going to have to go somewhere. But wherever it is, you got to have it, because long term we can't keep depending on 30-year-old systems to provide our electricity. There has to be a change. You know, wherever we go, when we get our car fixed, we go somewhere and we say, why do we like them? Because they're reliable. Why do we buy a car? Because it's reliable. When I get up in the morning and turn it on, it works. If you go to your business and you try to hit the light switch and it doesn't work, it's not reliable. You're going to be frustrated. Reliability is what makes our economy run. Demand is going to go up really fast. I mean, we've got electric cars coming on board. You imagine everybody comes home at 5 o'clock, plugs the car, and what is that going to do to the system? But you know, in Maryland we saw jobs increase, huge in the month of March. We saw retail sales drastically jump. We've seen the Wall Street stock market increase. We are seeing an uptick in our economy. Yes, a lot of people are still hurting, but we're seeing an uptick, and it's happening really fast. Yet we're still relying on a 30-year-old system to provide our infrastructure and reliability for transmission lines. So we've got to act quickly, and this coalition needs to come together and say, hey, this is happening, it's happening now, let's do something about it. I would say we need everybody involved. We need everyone's voice, whether it's whatever side it's on. We need their voice, and it needs to be heard, because that's how we're going to come up with the best solutions. If someone's left out of the discussion, then we're not going to come up with the best possible solutions, because every voice offers an insight and knowledge to how do we make this the best economy and the best state we can have here in Maryland.